This time we are going to look at the probability of the event happening at least once, which can be computed by 1, which is from 100%, subtracted by the probability of the event that does not happen. Example, the probability that South Florida will not be hit by a hurricane in 10 years was computed to be 0.047. What is the probability that South Florida will be hit by a hurricane at least once in the next 10 years? To compute this, we see the key term as the term will not. That means the P of not hit by a hurricane equals 0.047, and we are going to find the probability of getting hit at least once. So P of hit at least once equals 1 minus the probability of not hit by hurricane, or 1 minus 0.047. Simplify the numbers to be 0.953, or we can say this is about 95.3% chance that South Florida will be hit by a hurricane at least once in the next 10 years. Similar example, if the probability that South Florida will be hit, this time will be hit by a hurricane in any single year is 5 out of 19, or 5/19. Part A, what is the probability that South Florida will be hit by hurricane in 4 consecutive years? 4 consecutive years, each year the probability of the event, those events independent from each other. So going to be independent events. The probability of being hit by hurricane in 4 consecutive years would be the probability of being hit for the first year times probability of being hit by the second year, probability of being hit the third year, multiplied by the probability of being hit the fourth year, which is the product of 5/19 times 5/19 times 5/19 times 5/19, and simplify the number in the decimal form to get 0.0048, or about 0.5% chance to be hit by a hurricane in 4 consecutive years based on this information. And the second part, what is the probability that South Florida will not be hit by a hurricane in the next 4 years? The key term not, and then also like the next 4 years or 4 consecutive years. So put a note, another problem involving independent events. Probability not hit by hurricane in the next 4 years. So we're gonna find the probability of not being hit for each year, because each year is independent from each other. The first year not hit, and the second year not being hit also. The third year, the fourth year. Not being hit, so this is the probability that we can compute by using the quantity like 1 as 100%, subtracted by being hit, which is 5/19, and the same as the second year, gonna be 1 minus 5/19, times 1 minus 5 over 19 times 1 minus 5 over 19, which is the product of the number 14 over 19, 14 over 19, 14 over 19, and 14 over 19. So multiply 14 over 19 like 4 times from 4 consecutive years. The answer will be 0.2948. That means it's about 29.48% chance not being hit by a hurricane in the next 4 years. The last one, we're going to find the probability that South Florida will be hit by a hurricane at least once in the next 4 years. At least one. This number tells us that we're going to set up as probability and put it as probability of at least once is from 1 minus the probability of not being hit like 4 consecutive years. And from part A, the probability of being hit in 4 consecutive years, where part B is the probability of being hit, not being hit in the next 4 years. So we're going to use the number from part B, subtract it from the number 1, which is 100%. So 1 minus 0.2948, and simplify the number to get 0.7052, which means it's about 70.52% chance that South Florida will be hit by a hurricane at least once in the next 4 years.